So good morning, all of you. Today, I think I can discuss the same problem. Most students complain of lack of concentration. They say the mind is not under their control. They want to sit and study, but after 5 minutes, they want to get up and go away. So, how do we gain this control over our own mind so that we can achieve the goals which we have to achieve? This is the main problem everyone faces in life, particularly students who have to really concentrate and study. For this, of course, we should understand the mind. In fact, mind and the body are identical in few cases. Like body also has voluntary and involuntary muscles. Mind also has functions which are voluntary and involuntary. So if you understand this properly, we gain control over the voluntary muscles. And involuntary thing, we don't have any control. The physical body, of course, heart is the one which is involuntary. We cannot control it at all. It will do its thing on its own. And we have control over the physical muscles like limbs and so on under our control. Of course, interestingly, body also has both voluntary and involuntary muscles, which are the lungs. When we want to control, we can control. When we do not want to control, of course, breathing will take place on its own. In case of the mind, we have again two aspects: the emotional mind and the intellectual mind. The emotional mind is the involuntary mind. It goes on working whether we like it or not. Whereas the intellectual mind works only when we want it to work. For the intellectual mind to work, our volition is absolutely necessary. And once our intellectual mind works, that is what happens with our volition. Because we wanted the mind to think, then of course it becomes in our control. So the same mind within itself, we have two aspects. So when I have to really do some serious thinking, my intellectual mind comes into operation or functioning, and then of course it is under my control. Now, but the whole problem is on the sly, the emotional mind can come over or the sensual mind can come over and simply take us away without even our knowing that we are not doing the job we were supposed to do. So all this, of course, we know. For instance, if we are simply reading, the mind can wander. But if we are doing a thing like we are reading the book and then we again write on a notebook, then obviously the moment we stop writing, we immediately know our mind is not in the process of the learning process. So this is the best technique, of course. In fact, there are a lot of people who are unwilling to learn techniques like meditation. The advantage of learning meditation is that it develops a level of detachment by which the emotional mind does not become, it cannot go away just like that. Whereas if it is a strong tendencies are there for the emotional mind, then of course it will easily go away. So to avoid that, what best can be done is to have, of course, meditation is the best thing. Of course, many of you are not willing to do, I know. So what is the next best thing to do is have always some props like this. So you read a sentence, close the book, and then write that sentence in another notebook. And you should do this without any break. The moment you break, I know your mind will take you away and you will also stop writing. So have that tenacity. I don't want to call it willpower because willpower is what you are lacking. You should determine that I will not now get up unless I have worked like this for 1 hour. Start like that. Then, of course, maybe you can extend the time to longer periods. Of course, you will become a very successful student if you can sit continuously like that for 5 to 6 hours. And that is the benchmark. So, and many times to understand something deeply, a continuous reading becomes necessary also. So, that is what you have to practice. And when you practice like that, of course, it is a willpower which has to work. But let us not call it willpower, let us say our tenacity, our seriousness to do the job as given. So, that would definitely help you succeed. So even without meditation, if you make up your mind, and to make it strong, you can write on a book also. See, I will from this time to this time I will finish reading 2 pages. Or the first day you find out how much time it took to write 2 pages, and next day you say reduce 10 minutes and say I will try to finish it in that period. So like that you have to, in fact, when we learn planning in engineering, it is not simply taught planning. It is also called planning and control. So you have planned that this is what you will do, but check not after the time is over. Every 5 minutes you should check if you are making the progress. And now since you have your phones, smartphones, you can set time. Every 5 minutes you ask for a beep, and the moment the beep comes, again set for another 5 minutes for the beep to come. So every 5 minutes you are alerted whether to check whether you are doing the work or not. So you have to finally develop your own techniques, because my techniques may not be very good for you. And if you can develop your own techniques, you will be able to implement in your life, and then you will find gaining the concentration much easier.